I came across this video of this black Bullitt Mustang that Brian had posted to the Bullitt community. You can see that the Bullitt intake manifold's missing, the side rocker panels are missing, the C-pillars and glass are missing. It's in a wrecking yard. You can see it's missing the Bullitt side scoops, the rear axle, all the really good stuff. Especially all the Bullitt stuff. The Bullitt badge is gone off the back of it, and this is to be expected. It's in a wrecking yard. It's really sad to see it in here because it looked like it could have been saved. The gauge cluster is missing, which would be a Bullitt specific part. The stick shift bezels and everything, that's all about the same as any Mustang would be, and it's always missing. But there's the Bullitt pedals there, you can see. I'm surprised those aren't gone, especially the throttle cable is something Bullitt specific. There's the seat. You can see the interior upgrade package headrest is gone out of it. The seat was pretty trashed, but they got that. The Bullitt fuel door was gone. Again, the C-pillars and glass on this side, those are Bullitt specific. The Bullitt side scoop on this side, and of course the rocker panels. They did show the hologram sticker under the back seat. This is Bullitt number 1500. And if you look at this invoice sticker that's in the driver door frame, it has KW, which is the interior code for the Bullitt Mustang. That's one of the few ways you can tell it's a Bullitt Mustang, by looking at the door tag. This was very sad to see this car in here. This is what the picture that the website posted when they received the car at the pick and pull. This is what the picture of the car, what it looked like when it came in, and it really didn't look that bad. I didn't see any major damage. Maybe it had flood damage or something was wrong with it, but it's really too bad to see that a car that could have been saved was now parted out and basically taken to a point where it would be a lot harder to return it back to a clean Bullitt. You can always restore a car. But something worth mentioning as well, a very special piece was the heater hose tube that goes in the valley of the block, connects to the back of the block where the water pump pushes the coolant to the heater core. That hose is very special to the Bullitt and unique, and you need that to run the Bullitt intake manifold. And so I don't know if anybody noticed that that was still there. That's an actual metal tube that's formed to fit in the valley of the block and go around the bottom side of the Bullitt intake manifold. So that is different than a GT, and I'm surprised that was still there. People probably just didn't realize that that was specific, as well as any EGR components you see there. And another part about the Bullitt that some people might not know is the valve covers are specific to the Bullitt. They have the oil filler cap on the driver's side there. You can kind of see it. It's kind of a white and kind of clouded looking, but that is specific to the Bullitt because the Bullitt's intake manifold did not allow the GT filler neck tube that's on the passenger side towards the front to be there. It gets in the way of the Bullitt intake, the cold air intake section of the Bullitt's intake system. And so those valve covers, I believe, are the same as the non-PI Romeo head GT engines. So it's interesting that they brought those back for the Bullitt. So I'm not sure if those are totally specific to the Bullitt or if you could use non-PI valve covers on this engine. Something interesting was the Windsor engines had different number of valve cover bolts. The valve covers had holes around them for 13 or 14 bolts, depending on which side you were using, and the Romeo had 11 bolts on each side, as well as the size of the hardware. The Romeo engines had 10mm hardware and the Windsor had 8mm hardware, so there is a little difference there. And the Bullitt is the only PI engine car that had those valve covers on it. So if we go to the 2001 registry for the Bullitt Mustang, you can see they've tried to locate as many as they can. They've located 3,429 Bullitts out of the 5,582 that were produced. And I know this is hard to keep track on because they'll change hands, they'll be sold to different people, but if you look through here, there's a lot of really interesting information. They talk about what some of these cars were used for, if they were the press cars, the one that Scott Hogue had owned, one that was used in the Muscle Mustang and Fast Forward test car, the number 34, which was the jump car, And as you can see in red, you'll see totaled or parted out. And as you go through here, you'll find quite a few found in a junkyard, gone to the junkyard in heaven, totaled, parted out, totaled, T-boned, totaled, and the list goes on. And this is only looking at the first couple hundred bullets. As you scroll through all the way to the whole list of 5,000, you'll see so many of them in red that say parted out, found in a junkyard, T-boned, destroyed, and the list just keeps getting longer. And it's really sad that these cars are collectible and older now, and you still see them showing up in wrecking yards like this one that we were looking at. So I know this might be kind of hard to read, but I was just kind of skimming through here just to give an idea. Every so often you see the salvaged or totaled in that red font, and it's really neat to go through and look through here and see. And these are also broken up by category, in the first 500 and then the next 500 or so. And my Bullitt's on there, and it's registered. It was registered to me, then it was registered to the new owner, and now it's kind of blank. So if we look back here towards the number here is 1500, so this would be the car we're talking about, and it does show that it has been scrapped. So we can go through here and see so many totaled ones. It's really sad to see. Now, I did have somebody ask me if there was something like this for the Mach 1 Mustangs or the Terminators, and there is not. The Bullitt Mustangs are unique because they have that special number. Scott Hogan mentioned that they thought about doing something like that for the Mach 1s as well, but the stickers were such a problem, and they had to reprint so many of those hologram stickers for the fourth hologram sticker, and so they decided not to get into that again. But I'm surprised they didn't take the trunk lid off this car, because it's still a wingless trunk lid. It would be the same as any wingless trunk lid you can find on a V6 Mustang, but those are getting scarce too. I was actually pretty surprised that the back seat wasn't taken out of the car either, or that short shifter. There's still a lot of good parts on this car. So they did go through and get quite a few things off this car, and the person who had posted the video said that they get notifications, or somebody else had mentioned they get notifications whenever one of these cars comes to the wrecking yard, and by the time they get there it's already stripped out like this. And there's controversy on whether those notifications are accurate or if the car's actually been there for a little while. So pretty sad to see, though. This car really didn't look like it had anything majorly wrong with it. I didn't see any major damage, but sad to see a black Bullitt Mustang sitting in a wrecking yard. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more Mustang content.